Have you ever generated real estate business from online forums? That's exactly what we're going to discuss with my good friend Tyler Gibson from Orlando, Florida today. How he got into an investor network, and in the first year of his business, he was able to close 7 transactions, but then that grew to 12 transactions the next year, and then 27 transactions the next year, and now he's on pace to even double that this year just by building out his network through investor forums. And if you haven't thought of this before, this is again another free strategy that you can implement in your business if you don't want to spend money on advertising and if you don't want to cold call and door knock and go about those traditional methods. Maybe you just moved into a new area and you don't have the sphere, or maybe you are doing a couple of deals per month and you want to add something to it. You want to find a way that you can bring in additional business. This just blew me away because I haven't thought of this before, but it's an amazing opportunity for you to dig into another free strategy. And again, because Tyler is partnered with us at EXP, I'm going to link all of his information in the description below. That way, if you're interested in a partnership, Tyler will give you everything that he has at no charge. And he's developed a system to be able to do this and pass this on to his partner agents. And the great thing is of course, is that if you decide to partner with Tyler, you get to partner with us as well. So if YouTube is something you want to do in your future, you get access to our courses, training, and coachings at no cost as well. And if you want some more information on that, check the description below for Tyler's calendar link. If you want to book a call, he'll be happy to talk through that with you. But this is going to be an amazing conversation. Don't miss a single minute. Grab your notepad, take some notes. Let's get started. All right, welcome my man Tyler from Orlando, Florida, where we just got to hang out at the shareholders event there, huh? I was there for, it seemed like a week almost. I guess, well, it was in your backyard. Did you stay at the hotel or did you drive back and forth to the house?
No, I was staying at home. It's like 15 minutes from my house, but I'm busy with, listings and other things like that. So I actually only got to go to like 40% of the entire event. I was a little disappointed, but squeezed a beach day in with the family and other stuff like that. So
awesome. Well, let's kind of dig into a little bit of your story, and let me just give me a little bit of the backstory. We don't have to go all the way back to grade school or anything like that, but let me see. When did you start real estate? What year? Was it 2020? No.
Yeah. So I got licensed late 2019, really started being active in real estate in 2020, actually, as COVID happened and people transitioned to work from home. I worked in a corporate office, but was part of a remote team. And so when I transitioned to work from home, it actually gave me a great opportunity to really lean into and try to generate real estate business because, most people that have corporate jobs don't stay busy the whole 8 hours of the day, but you have to look busy when you sit in an office. So when I transitioned home, I was able to take all of the free time I had between my different meetings and try to jam real estate activities into it. And so tried to take advantage of it that way.
Yeah. And you've got and what did you do right before real estate? What was the job or business that you left behind?
Yeah, my resume is very eclectic. From landscaping installations, and I did software implementations at one point. But right before real estate, I actually worked for a software as a service company that delivered some services to large companies around teams and team leadership. And so I was a customer success manager. I had a book of business that I managed. And really, it was about building relationships and consultative selling and upselling, our clients that were there and just making sure they were getting the most out of our product.
All right. So why real estate? Did you leave there or did you get fired?
No. I actually started in real estate overall as a real estate investor. Right after getting married, my wife and I, we bought a rental property. I came home one day and said, "Hey, let's buy a rental house." And she didn't really have any exposure to that, but to my surprise, just said, okay. So it was the easiest conversation I've ever had with my wife about money. But oddly enough, it was one of the largest financial transactions that we were going to do. So it was kind of funny in that regard, but I got that first rent check of $1,000 in my mailbox, and I was ecstatic. I got so excited about mailbox money. And so I started to just learn a lot more about real estate, acquired a few more rentals over the next few years. And then in 2019, I was going to be a father. That was really kind of my motivation. And so I actually changed jobs up in May of 2019 and went to go work for that new company. And as I had more time on my hands with the role that I currently had, I decided to go ahead and get that real estate license with the goal of buying more rental properties and eventually working my way out of a W-2 job through passive income through real estate investing.
Ah, very nice. And you started to get involved now. You've got a little bit of a story that I haven't really, I haven't heard this type of method, which is it's a great method. It was like you were networking before you got in or became an agent, since you were looking at investment, and you were very active on some platforms. And you said in particular, which platform really helped you start building up a network of investors and people to work with?
Yeah, so biggerpockets.com was the platform that I'm still heavily involved in. I discovered it when I became a landlord, because when I got that first rent check, I had to figure out how to make more money like that. And so I started to search online on Google and things like that for.
Wait a second. You became a landlord and you didn't know everything you had to do about being a landlord?
I knew nothing about being a landlord. I knew nothing about analyzing an investment property. Like, I made one of those crazy jumps and big financial decisions with little knowledge. The benefit I had was I had people in my life that I had seen model this behavior. So I knew it was a good choice. I just didn't know what I didn't know. Sometimes ignorance can be a blessing. So, yeah, so I wanted to try to learn, how do I get better and find more properties like this? And I needed to analyze. And so I searched for a tool to analyze properties, and that drove me to biggerpockets.com, which is the #1 real estate investing forum in the world. It's also, they also have the #1 real estate podcast, and they've got a couple podcasts, but started listening to the podcast and just really became, obsessed with learning everything I could about real estate investing and the different ways that you could generate income through real estate.
Yeah, I've got a good friend who recently joined the Bigger Pockets crew. Rob Built. He goes by Rob Built on YouTube, and I still can't say his last name. It's kind of like the same as my last name. It's like so that's which very smart move on his part to go by Rob Built. Which a lot of people know him as, but yeah, he's very big in the short-term rental space.
Yeah,
and I think now a co-host on Bigger Pockets. So
very cool.
So let me see. So all right, so you were networking in there and really getting to know people, and then you became licensed, and that led to your first deal, right?
Yeah. I'm not originally from Orlando, so I didn't have any illusions about friends and family giving me a bunch of business because I didn't have a bunch of friends and family here. I had a few friends, but most of them had family with licenses, which is kind of the case in Florida. 1 in 3 people have a license, right? So I knew that if I was going to sell real estate, it probably wasn't going to come from the people that I already knew. And so I looked at where that business was going to come from, and ended up connecting through biggerpockets.com with a person that was interested in buying a home. They were going to live in a portion of it and rent out the rest. And they had been working with another agent, but that other agent was totally flabbergasted that they would want to do this. And I, on the other hand, totally understood this concept of house hacking and how it's one of the most powerful ways you can start to build wealth, like real wealth. And so we connected, and they ended up firing their other agent, deciding to work with me. And within a couple of weeks, they called me up, said, we went to an open house. We want to make an offer on this property. I helped them write the offer. I called my mentor at the time and said, how do I write an offer? Like, I had no idea how to do any of this stuff. I was so focused on just connecting with more people, and wrote the offer, met them for the first time at the home inspection. They ended up closing on the house, ended up getting them a great deal. And what's funny is a year later at a client event, I invited them, and I was telling some other people that they were the first clients I ever had. And they looked at me and said, we didn't know that we were your first deal. So I guess I did a good job faking it till I make it, but I saw the power of that platform. And so we've continued to leverage it. And to this day, I've generated hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of commissions just through this platform. And many of those transactions were organic, no paid lead generation required.
And you said you'd set up some alerts and things like that on this forum as well, right?
Yeah, BiggerPockets is an incredible platform. They have tools to allow you to know when people are talking about your market. They have keyword alerts. So you can go in and customize keyword alerts for all the cities or neighborhoods in your area. If you're looking, I've gone as far as to set up alerts for when people are asking for property managers in my area or CPAs. And the reason why is because I want to be able to connect with people and add value. I want to try to collect their information and then connect with them, right? So I get these alerts in my email when somebody's talking about Orlando. I click into it, I go to the forum, I read what the discussion is. I try to add value, answer the question that they have, right? I never solicit business right there in the forum. I just add value. And then I will make a private connection request and a private message to that individual, letting them know, that I'm here in Orlando. I'm an investor-friendly agent. I'm an investor as well as an agent. And then I'm happy to get them connected to my network of local professionals and help them in any way that I can. So let me know if they want to chat. And oftentimes I'll get folks to request to book a call, and we'll just go from there to start talking and seeing if there's anything I can do to help them along this investing journey that they have.
I think that's one thing that I definitely don't like is being in forums and asking a question or getting solicited. It's what we call in our book, in passive prospecting, that's selfish versus service-based marketing, right? Selfish-based would be those people that are like, hey, as soon as they get in the new group, I'm a real estate agent in this area, make sure you call me to buy, sell, or invest with all of your buying and selling needs. And like, that's the opening post. And it's like, okay, those always have like 3 likes, out of thousands of people on those forums. And then you have somebody else to say, present that value, make some sort of a value-driven statement, offering help. And those will get a lot more engagement, a lot more likes. And so that's pretty cool. I like that. But alerts, I didn't know that. Can you set that up? Is that just that forum, or can you do alerts? It made me think about Facebook groups. Do Facebook groups have alerts like that as well? You can keyword target?
I don't know. That's a good thing to look out for. I know that you can set up Google alerts. Yeah. So you can set up Google alerts. I don't know about Facebook, but BiggerPockets has been powerful, and we've leveraged that a lot to try to know when people are talking about our market. What I found to be most helpful is actually going and engaging in all of those forum threads. The long-term value of that is almost unmeasurable. And I say that because one of the things I learned when I was in my research phase was I would go and I would look up I would go in and I would search for something on the forum. And when I found a forum thread that it looked like it covered my question that I had, I would read every comment, every single comment, every single page, right? And so if you think about that's the behavior of the people that are on these forums, you want to be on every single forum thread. You want your face to be repetitive. Every single time they're in a forum thread about Orlando, I want them to see Tyler Gibson and my contact information and the fact that I'm adding value. And it kind of turns into a little bit of local celebrity the longer you do it. I co-host a real estate investor meetup here in the area as well. And it's just another value add that I have for folks. And we don't sell anything. We just get together and talk real estate with a bunch of other people that are really excited about real estate. But so many people will come up and like, oh, you're Tyler from BiggerPockets. I'm not famous. I'm not a part of that platform in any way, shape, or form. But the more you're there, the more active you are and just adding value to the community, people start to notice, and you start to gain a little bit of that social proof that is really, really necessary in order to have people trust you with the biggest financial transaction of their life.
Do they charge a monthly rate for that forum?
So you can actually join 100% for free. When you join for free, you don't get to have a signature where you're putting your contact information and that sort of thing. But it is totally possible to leverage the platform when you have a free account. Now, they do have paid accounts. They've got pro account, I think it's like $10 a month. They've got a premium account, it's like $90 a month. The premium account actually gets you kind of like a lead landing page where people can put in their contact information to send to you, but you can participate for free. And then there is a portion of the platform that has paid leads. They do have the platform does have a find agent tool that agents can sign up for and potentially generate paid leads. I do the paid leads, have done the paid leads for a long time. And we found a great amount of value in the leads. 1 out of 25 leads typically end up doing a transaction within 90 days. And those other 24 people, the frustration that I have is they're not now buyers, but they are buyers. They're really well qualified. They have capital. And so it's a really great way to build a database of well qualified investor clients that will buy real estate in the future. And so if you have the ability to follow up with newsletters or deals that come across your desks or things like that, you'll be able to tap into those additional leads and create revenue out of those opportunities. And so we're big believers in it. Me and some partners, we actually do it in multiple markets now. We do it here and in Atlanta, and we're excited about potentially rolling it out in other markets in the future as we partner with other agents in other markets that are investor friendly agents.
All right, so for everyone out there watching right now, let's get into a little bit of the numbers. So you said in the first 6 months, you didn't sell any homes for the first 6 months. And of course, that's the case with a lot of agents. It took us about 90 days to get the first deal under contract, but 6 months. And then you ended up closing those 7 deals. And was that all from working inside of that forum?
Yeah, all of the 7 more transactions came straight from the forums. Some of them were organic. Some of them I had started the beta for the paid lead program at the time, which was a different pricing model. But I've been involved with their paid lead gen program since the beginning, and it has definitely evolved and become better over time. But yeah, we did 7 more deals in that first year of being licensed directly from that source.
Okay. And then you did 12 the next year, and then you did 27 the year after that. Is that correct?
Yeah. So in 2021,
that's a good build. That's a good compound right there.
Yeah. Well, COVID was a really interesting time. And so in 2021, the market was just on fire. And one of the leads that actually came through my paid lead gen source was Wedgwood Homes. Wedgwood Homes is one of the nation's largest hedge fund flippers. And they normally buy their properties from foreclosure auctions. Well, during COVID, foreclosures were shut down pretty much everywhere in the United States. And so all their inventory had dried up. So they were buying off of the MLS. And so they would buy properties directly off the MLS that just needed cosmetic updates. They would make asking price offers, all cash, close in 2 weeks. It was crazy. And so I actually connected with them and helped them with 12 transactions in 2021, just to that singular client. And it ended up being 8 purchases and 4 listings, because I got to relist after they flipped the home. So it turned out to be really, really lucrative for me. But in 2021, it helped me reach the top 500 rank here in Orlando, Florida. So I was ranked in the top 2.5% of all agents in my market of 24,000 agents at the time. And then in addition to that, I was nominated by my peers here at my local board. The Young Professionals Network named me one of the top 20 under 40 rising star realtors to watch here in the Orlando market. So that's when I launched my team, brought on my first team member. And then in October 2021, exactly 2 years to the day, I quit my full-time job and became a full-time real estate agent and team leader, and actually got to share at Bigger Pockets Conference in 2021 in New Orleans on stage that I had done that and leveraged their platform in order to get there. So it was a really, really cool experience and story.
Very nice. Very nice. So what else, other than that forum, what's been another way you've found to generate leads?
Yeah, so we also have used a Facebook marketplace strategy that we learned from our partners here at our brokerage to be able to generate really low cost lead sources. We also do a lot of social media as well as open houses. Open houses are still one of the best ways to generate buyer leads if you know how to do an effective open house. And unfortunately, a lot of folks don't. But that's another great way to generate leads for yourself. And so we've done it all. I've spent a lot of money on paid leads and a lot of other things. And unfortunately, a lot of them don't work. But we believe in using this investor model to be able to connect with folks. And the best part about these leads is that almost all of them are going to be financially qualified to be able to buy a home. Almost every single one of them. And usually they know how money works already. And so they're just a much higher quality lead. But the downside is they don't need to buy. They just want to. So you do have to work a little bit harder to find them a good deal. But if you can do that, and if you know there are good deals in your marketplace, there is no shortage of investors in the world that will buy a great deal if you simply know how to present it to them. And so that's why we're so excited about working with investors and being able to expand that program into multiple states.
Yeah. So do you care to share any of that strategy from Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, I mean, it's really not very hard. I actually use a data-driven approach. So I actually go and look for what a 3-bedroom, 2-bath starter home rents for in my marketplace and where in my marketplace those rentals are located. And then I actually make a for rent ad on Facebook Marketplace with text over it that says, send me what your rent is, and I could send you a list of homes that you could afford to buy. And it's just about starting a conversation with them. It is somewhat labor intensive because you're going to get a lot of people that respond to you. So, templatize it, put some scripts in a notepad somewhere where you can quickly copy paste, but basically just making sure that people realize you don't have an actual place for rent. You're just trying to help people understand what it takes to buy, and that they may be able to buy and not know it, because most people think you got to have 20% down, and that's simply not the case, right? So trying to find people that just have an interest in buying, and then trying to educate them on whether or not they're in a place where they could buy, and try to just move them down that funnel to eventually get them in a place where they're going to be able to buy a home.
All right, great. And then you also said open houses, if they're done correctly. So what's the correct way to do an open house?
Yeah, well, I guess I would ask you, have you ever done any open houses?
Nope.
Okay. So if you were going to do an open house, what do you think the first thing is a person would say to you when they come in the door, as you walk towards them with your smile and business card in hand?
I'm just looking.
I'm just looking. And the second favorite is, already got an agent.
Yep.
Right. So the way that we do open houses, we take a 6'8" stand up. That was really loud. We take a 6'8" stand up banner to the open house with us. And on that banner, it's got some information that buyers are not accustomed to seeing. It talks about what actual inventory might be in the marketplace, because most buyers, what they want more than anything is just more inventory. They just want more options. What else could I buy? I've seen everything that's for sale. I don't like it, right? And so we've got some stuff, and I'm not going to share the details of it because it is proprietary to my team that I work with, but we show them that there's more inventory than they might
by the way,
know about.
If they join your team, though, then you'll give access to it, right?
Well, yeah, they're on my team. They're going to go out deploying my strategy, right?
And you're not just limited to Orlando, are you?
We're not limited to Orlando. So I actually am a part of a national team. We're in Austin, Texas. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. We're in St. Louis. We're in Orlando, Cape Coral, Fort Lauderdale, and we're always expanding. Right now, we're actually looking for more people that have a desire to to lead a team in their local market. Typically, those people need to be doing 10 million in production personally, or already have an established business, already had a business. They're a business owner in some other capacity. But we basically help agents look like they know what they're talking about as an educator, educating the buyer while they're standing in front of them. Instead of being a salesperson, just educate people, right? Which I think is what you guys do with your YouTube channel more than anything. You're just giving people a bunch of information and help educate them on the marketplace. And so that's how we do our open houses. And it helps to identify people that need to buy right now. And then we get them connected with me or one of the other navigators on the team to help write contracts and do all that stuff. But it's one of the most effective ways. And, you don't even have to have a listing to hold an open house. Your broker just needs to have a listing.
Yeah.
That's it. So, depending on your marketplace, it could be really easy to get a house to hold open.
Who are these navigators you speak of?
Yeah, so navigators are team leaders in our terminology. As part of our team, we basically have two roles. We have connectors and we have navigators. Connectors are our team members, right? Their job more than anything else is to connect the buyer or the seller with the navigator. The navigator is typically somebody that has a lot of industry experience, right? They know how to write the contracts. They know what to do when there's an 87-page long inspection report or the appraisal came in $20,000 low. These are the types of things that will trip up a new agent in their first few deals. What am I going to do? There's 87 pages of things wrong on this house, right? How do you navigate that situation? How do you have that crucial conversation with the buyer or the seller so that it doesn't fall apart, right? And you keep that transaction in place. And so our connectors, our team members, they're not expected to know how to do all that stuff. They're not even asked to do all that stuff. I will happily do that for them because I want to make sure that we capture every opportunity that comes our way. And then I want to make sure that everybody wins.
Very nice. Well, that's pretty good. Is there any other final words of wisdom you want to pass on?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that I find, because I've taught the free and organic lead strategy through Bigger Pockets multiple times, and I'm not ever afraid to share that strategy with people because I realize that most people just won't go do it. And so much like how I started investing in real estate, just go do it. Kind of like how I help people buy their first house. Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to write a contract. I was not worried about that part of the process when I was talking to somebody and telling them I could help them buy a home, because I knew I had resources and support that would help me take care of that once I got that far. But I didn't really need to know that part yet. What I needed right now was to just keep the line tight, right? Get through the next step. And then once somebody commits to making an offer, now I can go pull a resource and say, oh, okay, hey, I need to write a contract. Can you help me? Take action.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, that was really good. I mean, a lot of nuggets in there, and it sounds like you've got a lot of tricks up your sleeve. So that's exactly why we're linking all of Tyler's information down below. So that way, if you want to book a call directly with Tyler, the great news is, right? Not only do you get access to Tyler, but you'd get access to us as well. So, we've made a dent or two in the YouTube world. So we've got some pretty good training there, but then also open houses. Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, forums. I mean, those are things that we haven't even dug into, but I know time and time again, the open house, that's what we always recommend for a brand new agent. If they're coming in, especially if they join us and they want to work on YouTube, I'm like, look, YouTube's it's a long-term play, and it could be 3-4 months before you get that first deal under contract. Now, once you do, and if you don't give up, there is a compounding effect built into YouTube, but you've got to get there in the first place. So if you're really strapped for some income in the beginning, you better go bang out some open houses as much as possible. And you could even work the Facebook marketplace strategy as well. Really, that doesn't cost you anything. It just takes a little bit more labor, right?
Yep.
In there. So that's another angle you can work. I have heard that strategy before. So now that I'm hearing it multiple times, sounds like that's a good way to generate some leads as well. And then of course, your main way through forums and just networking, and sounds like Bigger Pockets has a pretty cool forum. So that might be worth checking out, but lots of good strategies in there. But yeah, so you've got some trade secrets though that you like to just keep within the team. But that's the cool thing. If you're watching this now, no matter where you're at, any part of the country, or even up to 24 countries right now, right? Even across the world, you could probably help implement some of these strategies. So we'll link all of Tyler's information down below if you want to book a call directly with him. And then that way, if you're looking for a partnership, looking for a change, there's opportunity in that. So Tyler, appreciate you joining us today. Thanks a lot. And I'll see you at the next event, I suppose, right?
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see you at the next one.
Okay. Have a great day.
It's a pleasure. Bye.